Right, morning everybody. I hope the board is all in there. I'll move it down a bit later if it's not for any reason. Today we're doing advanced phrasal verbs and idioms once again. I'm using a book for most of these, all of this vocabulary. It comes from Advanced Idioms and Phrasal Verbs, the book. I can't remember the two authors, but if you look it up, you'll find this book. It's available on Amazon, certainly. But I always say that I do actually have a phrasal verbs book. So if anybody's wondering which book I recommend for phrasal verbs, I do, of course, recommend my book for phrasal verbs. You can buy it on Amazon, or you can buy it on my website in PDF form, colour, for £20, or you can buy black and white for £20 from Amazon, or colour for £35. So that one's just called Visual Phrasal Verbs, by the way. My book's called Visual Phrasal Verbs. There are lots of pictures inside, and that's why it's called Visual Phrasal Verbs. Now, we're looking at phrasal verbs being used as nouns and adjectives today. There are quite a lot of phrasal verbs that are changed into a noun. For example, you can put someone down, but you can also say a put down, an insult. And we looked at that in the last class, so please watch classes 1 and 2 if you're interested in phrasal verbs and idioms. But today it really is phrasal verbs being used as nouns. So we've got a bystander, a passerby, an onlooker. Now all three of these are quite similar. A bystander is somebody who's just standing there when something happens. So a bystander is literally just a person on the street standing there. An onlooker is quite close to a bystander, but not only is this person just standing there, they're also looking at whatever happened. So an onlooker is very often a witness. If there's a crime or something like that took place, any onlookers will be witnesses to the crime. And a passerby, and by the way, to make this one plural, you add the S here, passers-by, several passers-by, yeah? Add the S here and not after the by. 10 passers-by, and you've got a hyphen in the middle. But a passerby is just somebody walking past at that time. And so these are all compound nouns in a way. They're made from the phrasal verbs, obviously to look on, to stand by, and to pass by. But to stand by is not exactly the same as a bystander, so do be careful, because sometimes there's a slight difference in meaning between the verb and the noun. To stand by means to be waiting and expecting something to happen. So you might be standing by, if you're working in the military, perhaps you expect some kind of operation to happen soon, but it won't start until, I'm not sure, and maybe until the enemy attacks. When the enemy attacks, then you have to start fighting or something like this. Then you are standing by and waiting for the enemy to attack. So standby is a little bit different from bystander. Now, some of them are very similar to the phrasal verbs from which they come from. So a breakout. A breakout means an escape from prison, usually from prison, because you break out of prison. So a breakout is an escape. But please don't mix it up with an outbreak. Where is an outbreak? Here it is, down here. Don't mix it up with an outbreak. Now, an outbreak is connected to an outbreak of an epidemic, or an outbreak of war, or an outbreak of disease, or you could even have an outbreak. You can certainly have an outbreak of violence, of conflict. But we would always say conflict breaks out, fire breaks out. I don't think I'm saying this wrong. War, conflict and fire break out. Yeah, war, conflict and fire break out. Disease breaks out. So an outbreak of a disease, okay? An outbreak of a disease, we say. So this is different from an escape, even though they're both formed from the same phrasal verb. And this is because you can break out of prison, but you can also say fire breaks out, conflict breaks out, war, violence breaks out on the border. Okay, a getaway is also an escape, but this would be when you escape from a crime, something like that, not when you escape from prison. A breakout for when you escape from a prison, and a getaway when you manage to run away from someone chasing you. That's really a getaway. So maybe you are a robber and you hold up a bank, and then you have a getaway car waiting for you. That's the adjective, a getaway car. But that getaway car is there to help you with your getaway. Yeah, so you could use this one as an adjective too. Okay, a climb down, I'm going to have to speed up because I've got lessons very soon. But a climb down is a reversal of your position. Perhaps you are working for the government, and firstly you're in favour of increasing taxes, but there's such a backlash from the public. Perhaps the public really hate this idea about raising taxes, and so you have to climb down from your position. So this one is a verb as well. And when you climb down from your position, you say, okay, I was wrong. You admit, you take back what you said. You admit, you retract your words, and you admit that your previous position was wrong. So a climb down is when you reverse your position and accept that what you previously believed in or what you previously supported was wrong. Okay, a cover up, I think a lot of people know this one. If you cover something up, then you actively try to deceive the public about what really happened. And so conspiracy theory is really the area we're talking about here. If the government tries to cover something up, they try to hide the truth about it. And a cover-up is usually a conspiracy. And I think we all know that these do happen sometimes. I think that conspiracy is one of those strange words that's now become synonymous with fake, even though we all know that they do happen sometimes. So a cover-up is some kind of conspiracy that's swept under the rug. We often talk about that as well when something's hidden. Some kind of truth is hidden because the people responsible don't want the truth to get out, to spread, to get out. Okay, the intake. This is quite a difficult word here, the intake, because it could be the intake of breath. Yeah, you can hush something up as well. There are a number of other ones like cover something up, hush something up. The intake could be the intake of breath, because when you breathe in, you take in air. And so do remember that take something in really does mean absorb as well when you take something in. You can even use this metaphorically to take in new information. But the intake very often is the rate of people that join an organisation. Like a school. A school can talk about its intake, and it means the number of new students that come to the school. But you could also talk about the intake of nutrients in the body, in the blood especially, because the blood absorbs these nutrients. So you can talk about the intake of vitamins or minerals or nutrients by the body as well. So it has a few different meanings, this one.